Guys, thank you for tuning into another episode of the Traveling Hoopers podcast. I am your host, Alan Pettigrew Jr. In front of me, which you people on Instagram Live cannot see, is my good friend, Calvin McGowan. Calvin, go ahead and let the people hear your voice.
What's up, everybody? Once again, I'm Calvin McGowan. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I've been watching a bunch of basketball, but most of it hasn't been the NBA.
Exactly. So we're going to be very specific because I have just got off my coverage of the Florida State basketball state playoffs. I don't know why I said state so many times, but let's go ahead and get straight into it. The game I want to talk about is the Nets versus Celtics. Guys, let me look directly into both sets of cameras when I say this. Uh, the Nets are a dumpster fire. Like they're really bad right now. Like we already know it's like this last seven losses. Kevin Durant is finally back. And with him and Kyrie, they have the scoring duo that we've all been excited for since they came together. But if the rest of this team, like the lineups, are are complete and utter garbage. Calvin, go ahead and tell us what the depth chart is looking like these days.
All right, well, look, it's questionable. It's it's questionable. In different ways than last year now because they don't have Harden. But Kyrie, for starters, they have Kyrie at the one, Seth Curry at the two, Bruce Brown at the three, KD at the four, Andre Drummond at the five. Right. Second string is Goran Dragic, Patty Mills, Cam Thomas, James Johnson, and Aldrich. Well, but he's out right now, so it's basically Claxton.
Yeah.
Um, and like I don't think there's an actual forward in their backcourt at all.
Yeah, and it looks like it too. Like, at some point they had a 3 point guard lineup, like this is college or something, they having Patty Mills who's 6'1", Kyrie Irving who's 6'3", and Seth Curry who is 6'3" as well. And then you go to the extremes where you got 6'11" Kevin Durant out there with Andre Drummond who is also 6'11". And I don't know what to do about this anymore. You can tell like the new guys are trying to figure out what's going on. Why Kyrie and Kevin Durant, if you get them the ball at the top of the key, they gonna make something happen. And it's been happening like that the entire season, where it's just kind of like one-on-one ball. You go, and it looks really good when they're making shots. And for the most part, because they're two of the best scorers at their positions, it looks really good. And then you have moments where Seth Curry is just lost and he's just running across the paint for no reason with the ball, like not even looking to pass. He's just going to different spots. Uh, Bruce Brown is, I don't want to say useless because he gives good energy on the defensive end. Like he's there. He's a pesky defender. He- when we talk about switchability, I guess we have a little bit of like, well, Bruce Brown does this, but he's 6'5" and he can't really guard guards. Like they're too quick for him. And he also can't fully guard forwards because they're too big for him. But he gets a lot of turnovers and he can turn those into offense. At least that's what he did against the Celtics. But I don't know what is going on. Like they don't look like they're running the offense for the most part. It's like Kyrie, KD, save us type ball, and then you got moments where LaMarcus Aldridge is on the block with like zero point 0.2 seconds left and just like throwing stuff up. It's it's bad basketball at this point, and I'm gonna be real with you. I gotta look at Steve Nash and be like, "Hey, you gotta do something," because I need Steve Nash to have a moment where he just like calls a team meeting and I was about to say throw a ring on the table, but he ain't got that. But look, I am a Hall of Famer. I know what I'm doing, but I don't think he is that type of person, Like they need a coach. They need somebody that's gonna tell them get their stuff together. This is how we got to run the offense. This is what we gonna do. Because until then, they just gonna look like god awful, bro. Like it's I think they said it's like 18 games left in the season. Ben Simmons might not be coming into like the last 10. And when I tell you this team needs Ben Simmons or like a Ben Simmons level defender, it needs him like immediately. Like, what you about to say?
No, I'm just like I'm looking at like the numbers and whatever. The Nets offense is significantly worse than I expected, but like it's not bad. It's just mediocre, like aggressively mediocre.
Yeah. And I get it. When you only had part-time Kyrie and then you had that stint, I want to say they said Kevin Durant hasn't played since January. When you have like a 10 to 15 games where it is unmotivated Harden, part-time Kyrie, and wait, who's the team that the Harlem Globetrotters play? The Washington Generals.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what it is. And I hate to call Patty Mills the Washington Generals because he has played significant winning basketball while he was in San Antonio. But Patty Mills ain't winning you no games. It's not the Olympics. Like he got to go up against all stars every night. Like he can get you 20 and like 5, but the other point guard getting you like 30 and 10. So, and you notice I ain't said nothing about anybody else. Like Seth Curry is clearly not found his role yet in this, and it's weird because you have one of the most potent jump shots. Go stand in the corner, bro. Just go get open. You know your teammates are about to draw double teams. Don't look lost. There's no point in looking lost. Go do what you are good at. And then everybody else should look lost. We don't. And then what? Joe Harris is out for the rest of the season. There's no hope. These guys are generally going to be a play-in team. Like unless Kyrie and Kevin Durant at this point go like supernova for like the next 18 games. This is an 8th seed team, and they look like it. Like I never thought a team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie would look like an 8th seed team. Like it's not hard to watch because you know Kevin Durant is just a purely entertaining basketball player. Kyrie Irving is purely entertaining. Everybody else, you got to go do something. Like if the other 3 players decided to run an offense and just let Kyrie and KD do whatever they wanted, this would be a more enjoyable brand of basketball. But that is not what's happening right now.
But I maintain one of the problems with Kyrie is that like I don't think the way he plays basketball correlates super strongly with winning. Like not as an individual.
See,
right? And it's just like he's fun to watch. He's a fascinating character off the court, but like he's not going to be the reason you win games for real. Like he might put you over, right? He might hit the clutch shot, but like I don't know.
No,
it's just like
you're 100% correct. That is not what he is about. We saw that for the years he was with Cleveland. He's not about to win you no games. He's about to put points up there. Like he is a great ancillary piece, but if he is your piece, oof, I'm sorry.
Like, and like you said, they need Simmons because he would help with basically everything except putting more points on the board.
You know, I think he would even help the defense. I think Ben Simmons is enough of a playmaker and enough of a break starter where him rebounding the ball gives you early offense.
Oh yeah.
Because right now, that they want to be a half court team, but you don't run plays. That's not going to get you anywhere. Like I can't think of a single team ever where it's not. It's like y'all not even running motion offense. Like if you've been playing basketball long enough, that should be like the bare minimum. Like you should pass and pick away. Like
Yeah, like
that
pass
is
and move, pass and move. This is basic.
like we've been talking about this since the beginning of the season. There is no motion in that offense. And I cannot for the life of me tell you why. Like you you know when Kevin Durant get the ball, I'm not saying he a ball stopper at all. But when he get the ball, he gotta score on this team. When Kyrie gets the ball, he gotta score on this team. The rest of you, please just don't be looking for a pass. Like like Bruce Brown of all people, you can't shoot. Go move. Go set a screen. Anything. Like it's just who's their GM? Because I want to write a very strongly worded letter to him, because he not doing nothing. Like they got to be looking at somebody for like the buyout, and I don't
A
even
dude
think that.
named Sean Marks.
Oh, Sean Marks needs to get beat up. Him, Sean Marks, Steve Nash, both of them need to get beat up, and when the assailant is finished, they need to be like, do your job better, and then run off. Like, because I think that's the only thing that can fix this, bro. Like, some life-changing revelations. Because I can't see it. And as much as I like Ben Simmons, and I do think he'll add some much-needed... Now that I think about it, I think he affects every single part of the game for them. Early offense, he gives you the defender that you need. Because I love Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant not like that. Like he needs somebody else to help out. And I don't think Kyrie can guard me. And that's no disrespect to Kyrie. That's just not what he does. Patty Mills is too small. Bruce Brown he's there. Andre Drummond is big and he tries. He really does. He gave us that highlight in his first game where he blocked a shot. But I don't think that man averaging over a block a game this season. And I'd be lying to you if I told you anybody else on this team can give you that. Like we got in our top 8 rotation, we got a rookie who's literally only thing he can do is put the ball in the hole. Like we're cooked, and I keep saying we because at the beginning of the season I picked the Nets to win the championship, and I don't like quitting on people. I don't. Like that's against my nature. I'm gonna rock with you until you've disappointed me to no end. But the beauty about like basketball and the basketball season, when the season's over, baby, I can do what I want. I'm a free agent. My allegiance is to my happiness and to not being stressed out. And thank God for high school basketball because I haven't had to like sign in with anybody this entire year. So but it's over. I gotta ride with somebody, and the tax is too high in Brooklyn anyway. I gotta go somewhere else immediately. But let's switch notes to a much more favorable situation, and let's talk about the Boston Celtics, the newly number 1 defense in the entire league, Boston Celtics. And I don't even want to talk about the defense. Yeah, it's there. They got a bunch of pieces that work well. Their rotation's good, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? The person I want to talk about is the man who has scored 124 points over the last 3 games, and that's Jayson Tatum. Calvin, you were saying this earlier, and I noticed this in the Brooklyn game. I'm like halfway through rewatching the Brooklyn game, and he got 39 with like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And he finished the game with 54. What he's doing in these fourth quarters is like DeMar DeRozan-esque, like earlier in the season. Like I guess I know he's not averaging like 35 a game, but he is cooking teams. He hit Atlanta for what, 33? He hit my team that I'm thinking about, selling my tickets for. the Nets for 54, and then before that he gave
He
what
hit the
Memphis how
Grizzlies
much?
for 37.
So like he is cooking, and I feel like we're not talking about that. Like this is a nasty 3 game stretch where you're averaging almost 41 points a game, and he's doing the heavy lifting in the fourth quarter to get his team like over the hump. Like this is the superstar player that we've been talking about, like coming to grips, like for the past couple years, and it's here. It's here. He is that scoring hub where when the Celtics need somebody at the end, it is him.
Uh, I guess the only thing is like, well, I mean, like it's sustainable. He's been a scorer his whole career. But like, do you think? I don't know. I guess do you think that like this is like it's gonna stay at this level through like the postseason, or would we see kind of a regression back to the mean?
No, man, I think this is exactly what you want to see at this point of the season. Like you are hitting your strides, like the entire team is clicking on all cylinders. We're looking at uh Jayson Tatum being the true closer that we've always wanted him to be. Jaylen Brown is back from his injury. They got the number one defense. Excuse me. They have the number one defense. I can't rock with the Celtics like that. They have the number one defense in the entire league. If that's realistically what you need to win a championship and have a deep run in the playoffs, you need a top tier defense and you need a closer. They have both of those things. And like the ancillary pieces are really good. Like, of course, Marcus Smart is an incredible defender. And then you got Robert Williams. I don't you watched the Celtics game. Robert Williams, he is a like superior difference maker for this team. Like his ability to finish over the top of defenses and block shots and defend a little bit on the perimeter. Like all of that is just making this team like special. They have the length, they have the defenders. They got my man Tice back and he's being really solid. Like everything is there for this Celtics team to make a deep run, but they tend to disappoint, and we're gonna see if that changes.
Uh, yeah, like if so, like right now, right? If all of this stops, right? Like the season ends today, they're currently set up to play like what the Bulls in the playoffs, right? That'd be like their first round. Do you think they'd be able to get out the first round?
If the way the Bulls are constructed right now, yeah,
Okay,
like
how come?
they don't have all their elite defenders. Like I don't think Lonzo Ball's back.
Hmm.
Caruso's still down.
Right.
So like Ayo Dosunmu is a really good person in the backcourt. But who's gonna guard Jayson Tatum? Like DeMar and him are just gonna go back and forth when it comes to scoring. And I think Jayson Tatum has a deeper bag than him. And then we're looking at Zach Levine versus Jaylen Brown. I like Jaylen Brown in that matchup. Better defender, bigger body. I wouldn't say he's more of a dog, but he got some takeover in his blood compared to like Zach Levine, who he doesn't have that same opportunity with DeMar DeRozan going crazy like that, even though he is averaging like almost 25 a game with that man on the roster. Um, I think Robert Williams cooks every single big that the Chicago Bulls have right now.
Vucevic?
Yeah, yeah. Vucevic cannot move his feet with that man. He is going to end up on a poster at least 2 to 3 times during a 7 game stretch. Easy, easy. And I'm being nice by giving them 7 games. I think if they play each other, that's 5, maybe 6 games. Yeah, like I got a lot of faith in the Celtics, especially in the first round. They have a tendency to get out of the first round. Now, when we move up in competition level, we gonna see. Uh, they don't have an excuse of being the young team anymore. Like Jayson Tatum is what, year 5, year 6? Brown is 6, 7. Um, at this point, Smart is a grizzled veteran who's been in the league almost 10 years. They're old. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. Like Al Horford's there.
Tatum's year 5. Just
Year 5? Okay, that means Brown is year 6. Like y'all getting paid the supermax. Go be super. Like that is what you're here for. No, they're really solid. Like all the way down to probably like a 7-man rotation. Realistically, they can get away with playing that. They can sneak 8, 9 guys in there. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. Especially not against like some of those bigger teams that we have. Like I don't know what they're going to do against the Bucks. Nobody has an answer for Giannis. I think Middleton can cancel out Jaylen Brown. So you're battling production between one of the best defensive players who can also get you 30 points a game versus Jayson Tatum, who can just kind of get you a 40. So it really depends on which way you lean. I am more of I want that 30 point, 15 rebound game, personally. And especially when you gonna give me 2-3 blocks a game. So it's going to be interesting, man. I really like what the Celtics have put together. They have not disappointed so far. I think these last 18 or so games in the season are going to mean a lot. Like they're under the microscope now. They've pointed at themselves as being one of the better teams in the league, and it's up to them to do that. Now, again, I think I'm brainwashed by the Western Conference for like the last 10, 15 years where they've just been like so dominant. Mm-hmm. Outside of the Bucks, I don't see anybody that can mess with the top teams from the Western Conference. And I know the Nuggets aren't the top team, but they got a super weapon. They got the nuclear code in my man Jokic. He's another one who had like 45, 10, and 10 the other day. I don't know what you do. That is an offense into himself. I really like what he does. And then we move on to the Phoenix Suns, who are just running on all cylinders. Like I think it's like those two should be. Maybe not the Nuggets, but those two should be like the favorite over just about every team in the West outside of Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah. But Calvin, man, go ahead, tell me about the game you watch with the 70s, not the 76ers. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Grizzlies and the Celtics. Okay. The Celtics. So what? Short version, all right. So it was I guess kind of not the prettiest game for the Grizzlies in particular, kind of in general, especially early. Ja Morant took an unusually high number of threes this game. He took 12. 6 of those were in the first quarter. He didn't hit any of those, if memory serves. Granted, he finished the game with 38. A lot of that came in the fourth. The Grizzlies, as a team, just didn't shoot well from beyond the arc. Okay, we went 13 of 40. Lord. Okay, looking at that number. The best dude from behind the arc was Bane, who went 10 of 5. 5 of 10. And then Ja with 4 of 12, and nobody else hit more than 1. But they did take them. The Celtics didn't quite have that problem. They went 16 of 37 from deep. In addition, right, both teams are very good rebounding teams this time, right? The Celtics got the Grizzlies, right? 51 rebounds to 44. The they played, especially early. Well, actually, throughout the whole game, the Celtics played way off of Ja, right, daring him to shoot. And of course, as I explained, he took those shots, especially early. They didn't really go down. Playing way off of him made it harder for him to get to the rim. Uh, and the Celtics were comparatively able to like do their normal stuff, right? Because they were hitting their normal shots, and the Grizzlies were kind of just struggling to hit shots in general. Ja wasn't really alone in this. That said, right, it was still a game, right? It still went like a game going into the fourth. Though, especially in the third, the Boston kind of got a lead. Ja lit up in the fourth. The problem is, so did Tatum. They basically traded buckets. You can't, if you're down, you can't trade buckets and win the basketball game. So, like, you know how it goes. Tatum finished with 37, right? 14 of 25. He just made shots. Like, I don't really know how else to describe it, right? Like, his three-point shooting wasn't amazing, but, like, he hit mid-range shots. He found ways to get to the rim. He found ways to score, long and short.
Is he getting to the rim? I mean, like, is he getting to the free throw line?
He took 8 free throws.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, 8 free throws. He hit 7 of them. But yeah, right. Williams. Okay. Robert Williams went 10 of 12. I mean, correction. He went 5. He had 10 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. Did a little bit of everything. Yeah. Grant Williams, 11 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, 3 fouls. I guess. He was like the Celtics were effective. The Grizzlies slightly less so, largely because we kept chucking. I feel like. But it is what it is. Jaren Jackson Jr. did pretty good, 9 of 18 from the field for 20 points. And of course, Desmond Bane, who I touched on, 6 of 14 from the field, 5 of 10 from deep, 17 points, 7 rebounds. He's got a really mean step back.
Yeah.
Like I looked at him like, oh, he's got this down to a science. Like the same way every time.
Yeah, your man has like he's always been a dangerous shooter, but he has like changed his game to be what? Is he your second or third scoring option?
I think I don't know. I think he's second.
Second.
Because I'm pretty sure he's second. I can double check, but I'm because it's just like he's a really efficient scorer.
Yeah.
Which when you play with beside dudes like Ja or just players in general, it's good to have a dude that can get his points and not have to take 1,000,001 shots. Okay, correction. When everybody is healthy, he's the third scorer. Behind Dillon Brooks. But like it's Ja with 27, Dillon Brooks with 18, Bane with 17, Jackson with 16.
Yeah, man. Y'all got some dogs over there, bro.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that game, while fun, was not a good night for the Grizzlies.
Mm-mm. Yeah, man. I am out of basketball topics. Like I ain't watching enough. Like I got a prospects corner coming out this week. So if you guys are into high school basketball, you want to know the like ins and outs. Trust me, a lot of content's coming up that way, so you guys can know about the future of basketball before the future is here. Like you want to be the person with the crystal ball, where when these guys are coming up in the draft, they already know. And I'm your guy I'm the man behind the crystal ball for you. So trust me, really good content coming out this week over high school basketball. We're looking at recruiting, all that good stuff. But guys, it looks like it is a wrap for the Traveling Hoopers podcast episode for today. Again, I have been your host, Alan Perdiger Jr., and in front of me is my best friend in the world, Calvin McGowan. Calvin, go ahead and sign out for us, my guy.
All right. Once again, everybody, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us on the Traveling Hooper podcast. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Joining us on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Leave something in the comments. And next week, we'll be talking about March Madness. You know we will. Like, what's the league got going on right now? Let's be real.
You got a point.
All right, we were talking about March Madness because Selection Sunday is, this Sunday. And we will talk about the fact that, like, there are only, like, 3 teams that'll probably have a realistic shot at holding the trophy at the end. Yeah. But it'll be a fun ride getting there.
Hey, Loyola of Chicago is back. So go ahead and make that 4 teams. Cinderella, let's go.
They never left.